Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that the light might be finally seen at the end of the tunnel for Arknight's Endfield. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that these developers might have taken their head out of their hole for the first time during this game's launch, and they might actually start listening to players, listening to the 6, 7, 8, 9 surveys that they sent out, and, you know, have decided to actually start implementing some fixes, some changes to their dog gacha system. Because we've got a GamesRadar article over here summarized like this. Arknight's Endfield lead says good gacha systems don't impact the player's ability to enjoy the gameplay. And Endfield is trying to fix its confusing gacha. You can kind of view this as an admission that Enfield's gacha system is so convoluted, and so predatory that it's impacting a player's ability to enjoy the game. Because why else would they say this? And thankfully, there's an entire article ready for us. But before we dive into the article, I just want to see some general commentary from the community itself. Because this is the Endfield subreddit, where you're probably going to find the most tribalistic warriors in support of the game, especially knowing that this game is at some of the lowest levels of engagement the gacha space has ever seen. Bro, this is the interest in YouTube searches for the game over the past 3 months. Look at that launch. Ooh, killer. Ooh, killer. Ooh, okay, not very good, right? This is like Yvonne's release. That's the 1.1 devlog. People are like, oh, this patch is a steaming pile of dog. Interest all the way goes back down. They got Tay-Tay's release, and they're like, oh, wait, this patch is a bunch of dog. Sate was right. Interest goes down. Then Rossi's release, but there's no players left. And now it's going all the way back down. You don't have to take just my word for it. All you got to do is take a look at one of the biggest gacha guide creators in the space. You guys ready for this one? Tang guide and showcase 34K views 2 weeks ago. Then Rossi 62. Bro, does this look like I win to lose his channel? Does this look like I win to lose his channel? The guy that's regularly getting like 200, 300K views on his videos. Bro, just take a look at that past Lovey one, 178, right? Oh, look at this, the 6-star selector, 142. This is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. This game is so unpopular. It's so that people are literally sacrificing their channel spot in the algo to make videos on it. That's why people only make videos and stream this game when they're paid. You don't have to look any further, right, than just the Twitch tracker statistics to see what viewership is looking like for it. This shit looks like a fucking city skyline. How many skies? Like, bro, is this not the most sponsored shit you've ever seen in your fucking life? Everyone's like, all right, I did my hour. I did my 2 hours. I'm out. Bro, what the fuck even is this? Does this even look like slightly regular viewership? Does it even look like slightly regular fucking stream schedules? Aww. The answer is no. And the answer to this situation is Hypergriff, instead of fixing the game, instead of being the greediest rat fucking bastards in the gacha space, they are just paying people to pretend to play the game. They're just paying people to pretend to like the game. And so to see a statement like this, Arknight's Endfield lead says good gacha systems don't impact the player's ability to enjoy the gameplay, well, that kind of just is an admission, right? Especially when the game is hitting, hello, darkness, my old friend. When the game is hitting 256 viewers on 68 channels. That's an average of 4 viewers per channel, by the way. Maybe if that's what viewership engagement is looking like, and, well, this is what the game looks like on YouTube. And this is what the game looks like on, Google Trends. Maybe they're finally recognizing they have done fucked it all up. So why don't we go ahead? Why don't we take a look at what the community feels about the gacha system? Keep filling out surveys and keep asking for more. I'm not sure if the actual income is worse, but it's fundamentally a failure because it feels bad to interact with the gacha system. I think 120 progress should carry over. Blah, blah, blah. If it weren't for the 120 pull counter resetting every banner, I wouldn't have too many. Oh, right. All critiques, all commentary about what's wrong with the gacha system. And you want to know one thing I've said, ladies and gentlemen, about this gacha system that I've said for a very long time? Remember this video that I released a year ago? The worst gacha in gacha gaming? How I talked about how the design of Enfield's gacha system was the most stringent dog shit piece of thing ever in existence before the game released a whole fucking year ago? Because this was released in fucking like 2025, bro. The start of 2025. And I said the 120 pity, none of that shit carrying over. It was going to kill the game. This is what happens when you don't hold devs accountable. This is what happens when you just grift and take on sponsorships like it's no big fucking deal. And you don't actually critique the shit that you're shilling for. You end up with the entire community thinking the game is fucking garbage because of things that should have been fixed that never end up getting fixed. And you can see so many comments about the 120 pity. So many comments about the ability to lose all your pity. So many comments about all this resetting, all this expiring, everything in the fucking game expires. And nobody fucking plays it anymore because the devs are bastards. So let's go ahead and see. Have these bastards found Jesus? Have these individuals who, with their heads stuck up their ass, sniffing all of their own farts instead of actually listening to the feedback of players, are they finally starting to realize that they're killing the game? Let's find out. We are also calculating how many pulls players can get every version. Why is the developer saying that? Don't they know? Does this mean that they released Endfield 1.1 without actually knowing how many pulls the players were going to get? That's why you only had 60 pulls in Endfield 1.1? Only 60 pulls? When there's a resetting pity. A resetting 120 pull pity, and they only gave out 60 in the first patch of the game. Wow, these guys are retarded. Never mind, this inspired no faith in me. Even by Gacha standards, progression and monetization in Arknight's Endfield is pretty confusing. Before and at launch, the newly released action RPG spin on whatever drew criticism for convoluted currencies, opaque character drop rates, and pity maximums, and a rotating banner system that obscures how your investment is tracked. Basically, the way that the Endfield Gacha system works is that there is a 80 pity guarantee for like a 50-50, and there's no guarantee for the character until 120. And you can lose an infinite number of 50-50s on your way to 120. An awesome system that nobody likes. In an interview with GamesRadar, lead developer Ryan, his preferred name for the press is Ryan short for retard, discussed the response to Enfield's Gacha system and some plans to refine it, as well as the as well as the impact of these systems on games as well as the impact of these systems on games as a whole. Ryan acknowledges different responses to gacha systems between Asian and Western audiences. People can be critical about the gacha part of the game because they're not used to the monetization model. No, bitch. A bunch of players of Endfield are knowledgeable about the gacha model. It's just they're playing games that don't have a cancerous gacha system like this one. Sorry for showing the better game. Where you just, I don't know, can use your currency that you used for the pulls, right? On the weapon banner, right? This is a concept that doesn't exist in Arknight's Endfield because you get your weapon pull currency in Arknight's Endfield from pulling on the gacha. This would be like in Wuthering Waves, the better game, the objectively better game. Like, holy fuck, it's so much better. Only being able to get Forging Tides, the weapon pulls from here. God damn, I can get, oh, that's a lot. Anyways, imagine if in Wuwa you could only get weapon pulls with Afterglow Coral. There was no other way in the game. That is essentially how Enfield's pull system works. You have to pull on the character banner, and the funniest part is if you win early in this game, sorry, in the other game, Endfield, you will not have enough pulls to go on the weapon banner. That is how Endfield operates. If you win 50-50 too early in Endfield, say goodbye to the weapon, bro. Unless you decide to start just throwing pulls, right? Throwing pulls at the fucking banner when the pity resets. Only 100 attempts left to guarantee. This meant that I already pulled 20 times on this banner. I would have to keep throwing pulls at this, right? Get closer and closer to 0 just to get the weapon pulls that I need to get the character's weapon. And then what happens afterwards? It resets back to 120, bro, on the next banner. So you waste pulls to get the weapon if you win early. That shit is pathetic, right? That shit is so anti-player. That shit is so unfriendly, it's unreal. And this game had like 20 fucking surveys talking about how shit the game was in 1.0. And they responded to none of it. They changed nothing. They gave out 60 polls in 1.1. And the end result is that the game is at some of the most dog shit viewership levels the space has ever seen, and the only way it gets sustained is from the devs paying people to pretend to play the game. Disgusting. Garbage. Hilarious. That it's taken this long to address this. And I love, right, that they're saying, oh, it's just all the fault of those stupid Westerners. Yeah. Let's just blame geopolitics for this one. No, retard. It's because Westerners play Genshin Impact. Westerners play Wuthering Waves. Westerners play ZZZ, HSR. And all of those games have an objectively, absurdly better gacha system than the dog shit that is in Endfield. Imagine these guys trying to shirk responsibility saying, oh, it's just the fault of those stupid Westerners. Shut the fuck up, retard. Ryan. Retard. But even some folks who fluently speak gacha balked at Enfield's dated and complicated setup, so Hypergriff is eyeing improvements. Ryan, retard, says we are giving out more in-game currencies. Where? For a start, and we use questionnaire in our in-game data to see if players are feeling paywalled by the gacha system. This stupid motherfucker sent out 5 surveys in 1.0, and then 1.1 had 60 polls and no changes to the gacha system. Are they just lying? This guy's just lying. I have never seen a developer lie this much. Currently, Endfield is on survey number 7. They're on survey number 7, and these issues that he says they're addressing, bro's just lying. How is a dev lie this much? You think viewership would be this low? You want to know half the reason why nobody plays or watches anyone play this game? Because we don't have anything to fucking do in it. This game launched with like absolutely no fucking content in the new version update. There is no polls, so nobody engages with the gacha. Nobody does anything. They don't do anything in game, so they don't want to bother watching anybody that does anything in game. Bro, like this is what the cat... Oh my god. Oh, it just gets worse and worse. 900... It keeps going down. I refreshed and we lost 20 more. What is this? This is what you wanted? Why are you even bothering to just pay people to play this thing, bro? What is this, bro? This is insane, bro. This is the category. It's pathetic. I don't even know what anybody's doing. He's looking at fucking porn. To help offset or prevent that paywall effect, the opening hours of Endfield have been adjusted. What about every player that played the fucking game, I don't know, since launch, you stupid idiots? Retard. Ryan says, and designated selection permits have been added to let players grab a character of their choice quickly. Wow, so what should have been in the game on release and what you only decided to release after the PayPal fiasco where you turned off the PayPal button and then said it was fixed after people got thousands of dollars drained from their fucking accounts and then you got blacklisted by PayPal and you refuse to take accountability for it still, and the PayPal button is just still off even though it's been like 3 fucking months? And want to talk about that, Ryan? Most of the players can build a top-tier team in the current version. Who asked? He says, that's our goal, to give out more resources for players to build useful teams. He continues, and for players who think there are too many currencies in the UI, it sometimes can be confusing. We're also trying to combine some of the currencies to make it more clear for players. You know what? I need to go turn on this shit game for a second over here. I'm sorry. I haven't logged in for like 10 days. I don't care. The game is so bad, I haven't logged in for 10 days. I'll admit it, bro. Oh, I was halfway to the returnee event? True. Yeah, maybe I should just quit for another 10 days so I could get... Why is there a returnee event? Begging players to come back to the game. Because, guys, you want to know how long you have to have left the game? 21 days! They put a returnee event in 1.0 of the game! How badly do you need to fuck up for somebody to quit 21 days in the launch patch? Anyways, I'm not eligible for that anymore because I gotta make this video. We're on the topic of contesting Ryan's take on the UI. Get ready for this one, lads. That is the UI for the currencies in this fucking game, bro. They look like this. They all look like the same fucking thing. Bro, how are you supposed to tell the difference between these three? Huh? This one's the regular ticket. This one's a ticket with like a fucking hourglass thing on it. This is like a ticket. What the fuck even is that? They have a separate UI button for the 10x permit? What? Why even have this item in the game? How greedy do you have to be to make it this confusing? What is wrong with these guys? That is the UI in the pull menu, where the next button naturally is, ooh, time to go buy some stuff. Oh boy, time to go buy some stuff, right? And then make sure that I also pay with the preferred platform of not PayPal. Just delete the button from the game, you fucking idiots. How is it still there and still under maintenance? You're blacklisted. Just take it out. And look at all those different FOMO levers. Ooh, 23 headhunting attempts left to get urgent recruitment. A free 10x on the next banner, but it's not actually free. Hey, maybe we'll get lucky here. Oh boy. Oh boy, I got the 5-star, bro. If it's Jaiha again, I'm... Great. Now that I got her, I could demonstrate for you why this game is so shit. Bro, in other games where if you got a 5-star, right, you would just be able to go ahead and, like, redeem them for shit like this, get some permanent pulls, stuff like that. You know what happens in this fucking shit game? You can only redeem your excess 5-star characters, your dupes, for this blue shit that can only be used on expiring pulls. Bro, these guys are nickel and diming you. Not just in, like, the gacha and all of that. They nickel and dime you in the rebate store, too. Bro, this gacha system, this rebate system, this currency system, bro, they got, like... What the fuck even is this? Endpoint? Quota exchange? They got purple shit, too. They got bond quota? Then they got AI... They have all those currencies as well. It's just a gigantic fuck you to the player. Just a giant fuck you to the player. How do you even get the purple stuff? Sell your soul. I think this is what happens when you get, like, past P5 of a character. Like, you need to get, like, a 6th copy of a P5 unit. You need to get 6 copies of a character to start accumulating this shit, bro. Are you serious? Yeah, that's why everybody has 0 unless they're Fob Master. Anyways, how is the only commentary you make on that shit, right? Oh yeah, the currencies are a little confusing. No, bitch, you designed them in the most convoluted way possible to just confuse players and, of course, not actually give them any fucking real use or resources other than expiring dog shit ones. That's the reality. The greediest devs in gacha history, the most egotistical retards I've ever seen, that sniff their own farts on a daily basis and think it's gold, as they bring the game to its fucking knees with their horrible decision-making on a fucking version basis. And we are still creating more questionnaires for the next version to see if our adjustment works. I'm not even gonna comment on that. Survey completion rewards. Survey completion rewards. Survey completion rewards. Survey... How many more do you need? In a follow-up comment, a Hypergriff representative clarified that these gacha optimizations are at a discussion level, with no firm changes to share immediately. Just EOS the game. I don't... These guys are so incapable. They're so lazy. They're so stupid. They're so overconfident in, like, when, like, fucking their own decision-making. They think they can do no wrong. Everyone's shitting on it to every degree. Content creators avoid the game like the fucking plague unless they have a sponsor deal. Everybody doesn't want to watch it. Nobody wants to view it. You have 4 average fucking viewers per Twitch channel, and you're still over here pretending that there's nothing wrong while your fucking house is on fire. Good lord. Good fucking lord. Like many of today's Western gacha players, I got into the game through Genshin Impact, and I've tried other games since. I still play Genshin regularly, but from day one through to today, gacha systems have always seemed like something you tolerate, not something you enjoy. High rolling is fun, sure, but that's a flimsy defense of a predatory system which I compare to alcohol. Fun in moderation, but entirely capable of ruining you. I asked Ryan about the unavoidable friction of gacha. A monetization first, fun second system built around luck and scarcity. Wow, weren't there so many content creators, the most hyper-grifting retards in the space, saying game first, gacha second? Oh. What game? What game? There's nothing to do in this fucking game. And how he defines a good gacha system. He says the important part is to find out how players in-game are affected. They're all quitting. You know they're all quitting because you put a returnee event in the game. You already know everyone's quitting the game. Because it's shit. We have to ensure that players, including free players, are not paywalled by the system. Yeah, that's why you put 60 polls in 1.1 with a 120 penny guarantee that resets every banner and 17-day banners. They can experience all the content if they pay. For us, it's important to monitor all players, including the free players. Why would you say that twice? What team they are using, what difficulties they are facing in the combat of the world and dungeons. Can they build and experience most of the game's content? That's a major concern for us. Hey, you want to see the design of this game's endgame? Let me show you. During Enraged, operators cannot regenerate SP naturally. They just remove the core mechanics of the game so that you're influenced to pull Rossi, who generates SP. Operators cannot perform perfect dodge. They just remove the ability to dodge from the game so you're influenced to pick a ranged character who CCs enemies so that they don't attack you, like Yvonne and Tang Tang. Bro, their endgame is them removing mechanics from the game so that it's painful to play the non-shield teams. You don't have to dodge when you're playing Yvonne and Tang Tang. So they make it so that you can't dodge. And so the only team that doesn't feel like you have AIDS playing with is the Yvonne Tang Tang team. Then, guess what? When you're playing with Rossi, you shit out SP because she generates a fuck ton. Oh, she doesn't generate SP, she just eats up heat infliction from the combos? Great, whatever, right? Great, she doesn't need to spend it. Great, Rossi's a character that doesn't need to spend SP. Great, and they make it so that you can't generate any. I care so little about the shit when it's this fucking shield. Yeah, I don't even know what her fucking kit does, but it's obvious this is the endgame mode that's designed for her. Put in a bunch of barriers, put in a bunch of fucking hoops to make all other teams feel cancerous to play, other than the one that's on banner right now. They're already doing that in version 1.1 of the game in like the first endgame reset they've ever fucking had. And it's already happening. And now they're out here talking about, oh, we're just trying to make the game feel better. Yeah, for maybe the fucking devs' wallets. We're also calculating how many polls players can get every version. What do you mean you are calculating? Is that not calculated already? You are the developer of the game. How do you not know how many polls are in the version? What? What? Are you just like YOLOing it? And like now you're like, oh wait, man, yeah, maybe 61 wasn't that. Maybe 61 wasn't enough. Yeah, maybe we maybe undershot it. How do you not know? To see how many characters they are expected to get every version. At this pace, you are guaranteeing 1 out of 4 characters every 2 versions. Is that a good rate to you? Those feedback questionnaires and in-game data ensure that. To minimize the impact of the gacha system on the gameplay experience, so most of the players are not affected by the system to enjoy our game. Okay, well, just know that you are fucking it all up right now, and nobody wants to play the game anymore. Here and here. But still, there are options for paying users to acquire more players. I don't even want to read the rest of this because it's pissing me off. So for me, I think the most important part of the gacha system is to not impact the player's ability to enjoy the gameplay. This guy is actually retarded. This is the worst interview or the worst dev interview I think I've ever seen, and he just made the game look worse. I cannot believe they were allowed to publish this. He should have just been like, I'm sorry, can you not do anything with that interview? This is the worst thing I think I've ever seen a dev say. The necessity of polls per patch math demonstrates the irreconcilable give and take of gacha systems. At best, they can be more generous and less frustrating. Personally, I find myself hoping for less gacha cruft. Is that even a word? Entirely, and more... Okay, alright. This is clearly the most tone-deaf developer interview I think anyone has ever made. This dude Ryan over here has to be one of the most retarded developers I think I've ever seen. And the fact that he was allowed to say this article was allowed to be made, and then they also just straight up said, yeah, we're not doing anything. Yeah, we're just discussing it. There aren't any changes planned, but we're planning on talking about potential changes, but nothing's set in stone. That's all it is. It's just talking. What I know for certain, right, is that it's entirely super likely that nobody in this Reddit thread actually read it except for this fucking guy. Yeah, this entire thing was just the usual corporate talk. It boils down to the walking wallets playing our game are not opening as far as we want to, so we are pretending to be nicer for a better opportunity. We are sorry our players feel that way. They're wrong, obviously, type of stuff. People. Oh, and great. They're calling out this retarded West-East take. People can be critical about the gacha part of the game because they're not used to this monetization method. But in East Asia, players are more used to the gacha system. This especially is so incredibly telling. Pretending that people who think the gacha system at Endfield is especially shitty just because they're not used to it? No, that's the Mr. Jokey take. What the fuck are we even talking about? People are used to the gacha system in better games. And so they see this awful, disgusting shit in Endfield, and they're like, developers, go fuck yourself. Just more corpo garbage by the most tone-deaf devs in the space. So yes, I guess Hypergriff is listening to their own farts, because they fixed absolutely fucking nothing, just like they did after their 7 fucking surveys in 1.0, and guess what they're going to do after this most recent dog shit survey in 1.1? They're just gonna tell you via subliminal message to just go fuck yourself, as they have done since the launch of this shitty fucking game. And you know that's a fact. I don't even need to do predictions. You know that's exactly what's going to occur, because why would you think that something's going to happen after survey number 7 when surveys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 yielded absolutely nothing? You know the definition of insanity, right? We all saw that shit from Far Cry 3, right? Voss, that motherfucker, right? Where you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and you expect a different result. This is survey number 7. Are you going to expect them to actually start listening now? You can't. They just never will. The game will never be fixed. That's a fact at this point. And to think anything else is literally the definition of insanity.